you need to be very authentic and very present in the moment for a lot of the discussions and a lot of the decision making processes, because that's also going to help you to understand whether certain things can actually work on your behalf or not. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Neecee, Lexy. If you're new here, I'm a content creator, digital marketer, as well as a blogger. Welcome to my channel where I discuss a lot of things about entrepreneurships, how to improve your online digital marketing, as well as some side hustle and even personal development. In today's video, as the title mentioned, I'm going to be discussing about the 10 characteristic traits in order for you to become successful in life, and which are these top 10 characteristic traits that you should have in order to make sure that you succeed, whether in your career, profession, entrepreneurship, just life in general. And today I didn't write the blog. Normally what happen is that before I actually get into the video, I write the topic and then I discuss it afterward. But today I'm going to be taking a different route where I just have the list of them in my phone, and then I'm going to be doing it raw and discussing it. And so, yeah, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe to this channel so that you can constantly get our weekly update. And also, if you're also into podcasts, don't worry, these contents are also available in all our podcast streaming platform. You just need to search for my name, Neecee Lexy, and you'll be able to find it. As well as I have additional resources available on my website. I have free articles that I write every week on digital marketing and some best practices on how you can grow your online business. You can also check that there. So let's dive into this video. Without further ado, let's get in. So yeah, thank you so much. Thank you welcome back. I hope you guys all subscribe. So joining us today, these are the top 10 characteristics. I wrote it all here in my phone on what makes somebody successful in life, in career, or just in their personal development, or succeeding as an entrepreneur. So one of the key things you need is one is confidence. Confidence is a key. In anything you do, whether it's business, whether it's your school, whether it's just in life in general, you have to have confidence on what you're doing, because that kind of sets you apart and gives you that drive, motive, and that you can actually achieve it and you can actually do it. It's very, very important for you as a entrepreneur or as a career profession to have a confidence on the skills that you have, to have a confidence on the things that you want to do in order to succeed. Without a confidence, obviously you're going to be lacking some sort of motivation behind it, and you might end up passing an opportunity because you're not confident and you don't believe in the skills that you have. So that's why it's very important for you as an inspired entrepreneur, as a blogger, or somebody who, if you need to tap into, let's say if you wanted to create write a book, you want to create a new website, or you want to become a business owner, or you want to get into certain careers, shifting from one to another, you have to have the confidence in telling yourself that you can do it, or you have the confidence that it's going to work out regardless of how many years or how many months it's going to take you for doing the transition. So that is why it's very important to have confidence. And every successful entrepreneur, every successful person that you look up to, confidence is one of the key traits that they have in how they have transitioned and how they have got to where they are today. Number 2, I would say, is speaking up. Speaking up is going to be one of those things that if you're a shy person in business, it doesn't work. As I mentioned to a lot of people before, I was always that shy kid that never actually speak much, but because I'm so confident on what I do, so that confidence in itself kind of gave me the voice to start to speaking. And then I also had to make myself go from that shy girl mentality to actually put myself in certain situation where I have to speak up, where I have to constantly talk, where I have to explain the ideas, where I have to explain as to why I'm doing certain design, especially with my graphic design. I have to explain the design, I have to explain the concept, and I also have to explain the video editing and how I'll be able to bring it to life. And if you're going to be an entrepreneur, a lot of your clients are going to be asking you a lot of questions. So that means you would have to speak up a lot. And being an introvert person, that is something you have to work on it. And sometimes you would have to do things that kind of takes you out of your comfort zone. And one of the biggest thing that I had to learn was to speak up and to go away from my shyness and kind of like, just making sure that I speak. Even doing videos, I was never comfortable in doing YouTube videos. I have to constantly make the effort to be like, you know what, if this is something going to be a part of my blog growth, I need to be consistent and I need to kind of start showing my face. It took me 4 years for my initial modeling, even though I used to model, which means I'm always on the stage and I'm modeling, and because I wasn't talking, it was comfortable, but at the same time, it kind of gave me that confidence to be okay in front of people, but I wasn't talking. And then as soon as I start to getting into blogging, getting into networking, after that aspect of it, I have to start speaking. And because I was being put into situations and stages where I would have to introduce myself and I would have to talk about the skill set and I have to talk about the project that I was doing. And that's where it got me to be used to the idea of talking and speaking up. So number two, I would say, apart from confidence, is you also have to learn to speak up. That's also going to be a very super important characteristic if you wanted to become successful in life. Third, I would say consistency. Consistency is going to be one of the major key in growing, because you cannot start one idea today and then tomorrow get bored, pause, and then start another. You have to be very consistent. For some people, their success might come overnight, which means they might just do it for a few months and then they meet their big break. For other people, it will take them months. Some people, it might take them lifetime, it might take them years. You have people who become successful in their 20s, other people who become successful in their 30s, 40s, or even 50s and 60s. You don't know what your success is going to look like. So the only thing you have to do is you have to be very consistent of your dream, and you have to put in that 1,000 hour. You have to constantly work on it in order to see it grow. My growth journey, being a blogger, from just being inspired to actually, be comfortable in writing, that was the initial cause. And then a year later, I decided, I'm gonna, instead of just writing articles, I want to be able to share my platform and actually help other entrepreneurs share their stories so that they can utilize that fact that they're in my blog or they got features in their CV, so that way when other elite magazines or publisher wanted to feature them, they can use it as a ground, like, I was featured in so and so blog. So that kind of gives them a credibility to also have that in their CV. That was the second reason as to why I was also incorporating all of these stories. And fast forward to 3 years later, now you see that I'm also adding some additional value to it, which basically sharing my digital marketing experience, sharing my digital marketing expertise, which also allowed me to get other opportunity, becoming a product trainer in one of the world's biggest company, which I sign a lot in India. I can talk about it, but this is basically to show you guys how important it is to stay consistency, because consistency is going to be one of those key elements to get you from point A to Z and also helps you to grow. Anybody just doesn't become a master overnight. They have to become first a student. From a student, they have to become maybe a TA, and then they can be the master. So it takes time. And that's why consistency, I would say, it's the third most important element to have if you're going to be successful in life or successful in your career as a whole, is to constantly update and constantly improve your work and things like that. Is listening. Listening is going to be one of those super important trait to have, because a lot of people listen to respond but don't listen to understand. And if you are just listening when somebody's talking and you're listening to respond, you're not necessarily comprehending what they said. And in business, that's gonna hurt you and your service, because you need to be able to listen. You need to be able to understand what your customers are saying. You need to be able, even if you're a consultant, you need to be able to understand what the business partner is saying in order for you to deliver and understand what is their pinpoint, what do they need, and what are they working on, and what can you deliver, and how can you be able to support them and actually help them grow in their business. If you're a consultant, if you're a business owner, what are the consumer talking about it? What are some of the feedback are they giving you? You need to listen to them in order to make sure that you're producing a value, you're producing an impact, and you're also answering their pinpoint. That's why listening is one of those characteristics you need to also know as a successful entrepreneur or just a successful person in life. Listening is going to be super key for you. It's time management. Time is money, so it's going to be one of those crucial things that you need to also manage your time. You cannot waste your time, because first of all, there's going to, as you're growing or you becoming tapping into the entrepreneurship world, or even just in your journey and a career to find out whether it fits for you or not, you need to learn how to manage your time, because a lot of times there might be opportunity that's knocking in your door, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you need to say yes to every little thing. You need to prioritize what is most important to you, what is aligning with the goals you want to do in life, and what is aligning with the purpose or some of the stuff that you want to do. If not, you might end up saying yes to a lot of things, and you might end up splitting your time with other unnecessary tasks that you shouldn't even be taking it from the first place. So you got to be comfortable with saying no to certain things, and also manage your time really wisely in order to meet deadline, and you got to also respect people's time. You respect your business partner's time. You're going to respect the client time, and also allow people to respect your time, because if you respect their time, they will respect yours. It goes hand in hand, and you don't want to waste so many time trying to go around the loop or stuff like that, because that's also going to set you as somebody who's not reliable, or some people will just abuse your time. So time management is very crucial. It's taking ownership. Number 6, I would also say taking ownership, because you're going to have to stop complaining, stop blaming people. Sometimes things don't work the way you're supposed to work, and that's okay. If you're the part of the problem, obviously you can be a part of the solution. That is why it's very important for you to stop complaining and stop whining, and just accept it. One of the biggest things you could do is accepting that certain things are not just going to work out, and that you can overcome it, and you can work around it. You can figure out a solution. You can find mentors. You can ask for help, just by taking ownership and understanding that certain things need to be handed off to somebody else, or we need to be reallocated. That's okay. So be present. It's another characteristic trait that a lot of successful people need to be, because you need to be very authentic and very present in the moment for a lot of discussions and a lot of the decision-making processes, because that's also going to help you to understand whether certain things can actually work on your behalf or not. And you need to also be present in making those decisions, because your input matters to the growth of the business, to the growth of your career, to the growth of things. So you need to be present in a lot of things. And I would say that is very, very crucial for you. characteristic I would say is lead by impact. Most people, when they get into the entrepreneurship or a small business or side hustle, they just think like, oh, I can start a YouTube and I start making money right away. It doesn't work that way. Or sometimes they can be like, oh, if I start this business, I'm going to make X amount of money and I can be rich. It doesn't work with that. If that's the case, and if that's the idea you're going by it, if it happens to you, by all means, kudos, share with us the knowledge. But for most businesses or most ideas, it doesn't take off right away. So you need to understand what is the impact you're providing. The idea that you have, what sort of impact or societal impact does it carry? What sort of impact would it have to your client? If it doesn't have any value, doesn't have any impact, you're going to be struggling trying to figure out how to get a client because you are not aligning or you're not providing any value, you're not providing any solution to their problem. So you need to do your research, you need to understand. And a lot of people that succeeded in their businesses is because they understand the impact. Like for example, Rihanna, a lot of the research went behind her makeup brand before it actually launched, is understanding that there was a demographic of individuals that are not getting those products. And in order for her to come into the market, she needs to be able to diversify her profile. She'll be able to carry products that offers a lot of range of shadow or foundations to a lot of people that were not necessarily getting it from the first place. And that's why she was able to be successful within a short amount of time. But a lot of research went behind it. So that is something you can also do. Lastly, I would say honesty. You got to be honest with yourself, honest with the people that you partner with, and be very transparent with them, because you do not want to run into a situation where about you making partnership, but it's not clear. So that's why the contract comes into place, everything is written down, and also just be honest with yourself. Like, why are you doing what you're doing? Okay, simple as that. I hope this was really short and brief, certain characteristics and elements that you can take into consideration if you're going to tap into becoming successful in life or successful in your career, successful in your entrepreneurship. And make sure to, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to take this time to subscribe. And for those who wanted to learn more about digital marketing or just learn about how to start your own side hustle or start your career in digital marketing or become a blogger or vlog or content creator, you can also visit my website at www.neecelexy.com, where I post weekly content there. And I also will see you guys on my podcast. I stream every Sunday. You can find me on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple, Amazon, all the major podcast streaming platform on there. So make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, and I will see you guys next week. Have a great night.